Welcome to Rock Solid Productions, where in this video we are at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, one of the biggest expos of the year. Our second time here, we can't wait. Let's get started. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rock Solid Productions. Now before we go inside, if this is your first time to the channel, I just want to take a second, say thank you for stopping by and seeing what we have going on. If you like what you see here, do me a favor, check out some of the other great videos that we have here on the channel. And if you really like what you see, do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button. That way each and every time we upload new content, you're kept the most up to date. We are here again, like I mentioned in the intro, at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. This is by far one of the best gaming expos in the country of the year. I had a chance to attend last year with the Pixel Game Squad. We had a blast. This year, I'm here with Adam from One Up Card. Adam's okay. No, Adam's awesome. We have had a great time so far. They've got free play games. They've got pinball. They have retro gaming accessories. They have Castlemania Ryan. Let's go inside and check out what they have going on. So here at the show, I'm looking to pick up just a few odds and ends. I'm not looking to fill in big gaps in my collection. I'm just looking to pick up stuff that I really want to play. And one of those I've been looking for a while now, since Missouri Game Con, since Southeast Game Exchange, even dating back to the Midwest Gaming Classic, is a game called Parodius for the Famicom. It is a great shooter for the system from an era when they were making nothing but great shooters for 8-bit systems. Portland Retro Gaming Expo is that way. Let's go. So right behind me, those are the doors. You've got, to that side, you've got the vendor hall, and straight behind me is where the free play area is. So much fun, cannot wait to get inside. The cool thing for me that I'm looking forward to, my brother Scott actually lives out here. We're gonna hang out here at the show. He's never been to a video game convention of any kind. He lives here and he's never been to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. It's gonna be fun for me to see this again for the first time through his eyes, to see the wonder, to see the awe, to see his reaction. It's gonna be fun. Here at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo with the immortal John Hancock. How you doing, my friend?
Great.
So the one thing that I have always thought of you, and you are one of the most passionate collectors of all systems, but I always think of you as a Genesis collector, and we are sitting here in your Genesis collection.
Yes.
Tell me about it, because it is amazing.
So if you don't know, my story about getting a Sega Genesis is I actually looked at a Sears Wish book back in the day, and I wanted a Neo Geo AES. And I showed my dad in the Sears book, "Dad, I want that." And he says, "Son, that's great. You see that lawnmower over there? That's how you're going to get it." So it was actually Sega Genesis. I worked all summer and earned enough money to get a Sega Genesis. And that's when it was packed in with Altered Beast, which was my first game and that I played on Sega Genesis. And I was the first one in the neighborhood to have one. And I've been collecting it for over 30 years. I completed my set about 10 years ago.
Now, and you mentioned, I love the fact that you worked for it as a kid. You have that extra level of appreciation.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, an entire game collection is something that's near and dear to me. And so I just really love collecting this system. I've always been close to it. I had the Sega CD and the 32X add-ons. I really kind of stuck with Sega Genesis for its lifetime. And, you know, over time, I started collecting games I didn't have, and it just kind of grew from there.
But why in the era? I mean, we're about the same age.
Yeah.
It was the Nintendo era.
Yes.
What was it about the Genesis per se? Did you have a Master System and it was the next logical step, or why the Genesis?
Well, I got a Master System later, actually, a Master System 2. And I had a Nintendo. And Sega Genesis was really the evolution of kind of the next step with graphics. It was a little grittier. The games were a little edgier. It had an amazing sports game, and I was a 4-sport athlete in high school. So actually the Madden footballs, the Tecmo Super Bowl, those types of sports games appealed to me. And Genesis had, at the time, the best Madden. And so I played a lot of sports games. Actually, I'm a big sports fan, and I'm an Eagles fan. And so I really, the Genesis, and because of its appeal to sports games, really connected with me at the time.
And I have to say, as someone from Wisconsin who is not a Packers fan, thank you and the Eagles for beating them on Monday Night Football.
I'm surprised you're shaking my hand because we're the only team that's beat you this year.
No, I'm a Bears fan.
Oh, you're a Bears
I'm from
fan.
Wisconsin, so that's why I'm saying I appreciate you guys
Sorry
taking
about
out,
that.
because we couldn't beat them ourselves because it's the Bears.
Yeah. Oh, so you're a Bears fan. My wife's a Bears fan.
I've seen that. That's that's why I think I like you and your family so much, is because she has common sense and you're an Eagles fan.
Oh yeah, well, hey, but we could always bring up Double Doink.
No, we're not going to. So I want to ask you too about your collection you have, because you have your most valuable, but you also probably have a favorite and what's the best story. So tell me about those 3 games.
Okay, so my favorite probably my favorite, if I had to think about it, would be like Growl. Okay. Growl, or Gain Ground is another one of my favorite. I love brawlers. All-time favorite is Streets of Rage 2, but I love brawlers. So those are like kind of my 3 that I kind of go to. Okay. And favorite story is actually right here. So this game, Herzog's Vi, I actually got from my mom, who thought it was a Transformers game. She saw the robot cover, and she got this at KB Toys for $20. And so she picked it up for me thinking, I think you'll like this. It's $20, and it ended up being one of my favorite games.
Perfect. And one last question. We've heard that Cowlitz has kind of been put on a hiatus. Do you have any plans to either use another venue or try to bring it back another venue? Because I know I love the story behind it, that it was a passion project for charity for kids.
You know, at this time it's on hold because really I want to move forward with doing something with my collection. And between YouTube, teaching 2nd grade, and a lot of the people that help make Cowlitz happen, they're tired. They've done it for, as long as I've done it, and it's just time to kind of put that on pause. I don't want to say indefinitely, but right now Cowlitz Gamers for Kids is not happening, and it's because I'm focusing on other things.
Perfect. John Hancock, make sure you guys check him out. One of the most sincerely nicest guys you will ever meet. John, thank you so much. And again, thank you to the Eagles for taking out my hated Packers, or those hated Packers.
I apologize for getting you mistaken for a Packers fan.
That was kind of an insult, but at least he didn't call me a Cubs fan. I'm okay with that.
All right.
Thank you, John.
All right.
So we are here in the New Wave Toys booth, and we are here with Peter. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. And these are the guys. You guys are going to cost me a lot of money. You know that, right?
Well, that's our plan. I mean, it's our goal to drain your wallet, yours, and everybody else's out there who loves retro game.
And you take PayPal too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. But if you guys are not familiar with what they do, they basically make smaller versions of the arcade cabinets that I grew up with I got older as a kid. You can argue that I never really grew up, but they are so stunning and beautiful. Okay, here's the cool thing. He just ran over and grabbed this. It's still powered on because it runs on batteries, not just the AC adapter. I don't think a lot of people realize that. For those who may not be as familiar with what you guys are doing, give us a rundown.
All right, so basically, as you've mentioned, what we make is 1/6 scale cabinets, original arcade cabinets. We take great pains to make them as close to the original as possible, but shrunk down to 1/6 scale. So it's 6 feet tall, it's now 1 foot tall. And the reason for 1/6 scale, it's like Barbie scale, we call it play scale. So you can put your 6 scale figures with it. But more importantly is we make a machine that you can take home. A lot of people love to have original arcade machines, but of course they're big, they're expensive. There's a whole host of reasons why you can't really do it. So we have made it so that you can have one of these at home, but we took pains to do it a little differently than some of the others, right? There's a few other mini cabs on the planet, as you would well know. These are wood, die-cast metal coin doors. We recreate control schemes the way they were in the original arcade machine. Most importantly, we use the original arcade ROM inside the game, so it's not an NES or another version. It's it's the original one that you would have played back in the arcade. Yeah, I mean that's our secret sauce. That's how we make sure that it looks and plays and feels and sounds as much as possible like the original. And these things get loud. This is because it's wood. It's got like a nice, rich, warm sound.
Sure.
It sounds really cool.
Now, and one of the coolest things that these guys have got too, I remember going and bugging the bejesus out of my parents. Dad, I need another $5 for the quarter machine. Dad, Mom. And these guys actually have a quarter machine, but it's a practical, it's one of those things tell us about it, because it's cool.
The whole idea, again, with this sort of 1/6 scale dream is, people will put little dioramas together and they'll set them up with their figures and they'll set all the machines out, but you want to keep them on all the time. Now they have lithium ion batteries in the back, so you can play them for a couple hours unplugged, but if you want to leave them on and on a display, the marquees light up, so they're draining battery, you want to keep them plugged in. Well, we had this problem where we had a whole bunch of them, but we ran out of USB plugs places to plug them in. So we made a coin changer that's a USB power adapter, cool. And it kind of keeps in the same 1/6 scale dream. I mean, that's like the whole idea is to stay in theme, to keep it really cool. We've done other little touches. I mean, people joke all the time, right? Oh, do I get mini quarters? Can I get mini quarters to put in? Yes.
That is
mini quarters to pour it in. So we give you mini quarters that you can have. They're tokens, they're not really quarters. You can put those in. Little things like that. Our Dragon's Lair cabinet that's coming out next, gonna have a pre-sale starting next week. NewWaveToys.com, go check it out. You will be able to see that the back, and remember it was a Laserdisc game.
Right.
So in the back, there's a drawer that opens up, and we made a 1/6 scale replica Laserdisc player.
So cool.
But so I mean, it's all about the details for us. It's all about like the super attention to detail.
Well, and what I like about what you guys have done over the years is there's a natural progression in features from one console to the next. And your latest one that you have here is the Street Fighter II edition, which you might figure, how can you play Street Fighter II on a 6-scale cabinet? But you guys have USB controls, and some of these systems have HDMI out as well.
Well, that's a super secret feature that's new. We haven't done it yet. We're talking about doing it for Dragon's Lair. We'll probably make it, we do a lot of our stuff, we launch them on Kickstarter, and then we use that to fund pre-sales, or so to fund our early production. And sometimes you do a stretch goal. I don't know if you're familiar with the way Kickstarter works, but so we'll have it as a stretch goal. We do have it on our current prototype. We do have HDMI out. We also have 2 USB outs on the back of it for, we do that kind of stuff. So that's, that's like one of the features that we've added as we go forward. It's most important for like a Street Fighter, which is a proper like 2-player game, right? So it helps to have separate controllers that you can do with that. We ship it with, you can play controls right on the front of the machine, or you can plug in 2, and then you have everybody gets their own little controller.
And this is the perfect, ladies, a lot of times, like my soon-to-be wife, as of next weekend, she'll be my wife, doesn't know what to get me. Yeah, I'm sorry for her, right? I'm the one who's marrying up. She doesn't know what to get me because she knows, and she comes with me to shows, but she doesn't know what to get me that's special and unique and one-off. And I look at these as just the best Christmas, birthday, Father's Day gifts that a retro gaming dad, husband, significant other could ask for.
Well, I mean, that's the truth. And I mean, one of the number one things that we get on our customer support and on our social feed is the guys who take these to work, they stick them on their desk, and suddenly, hey, everybody's in Bob's office for meetings all the time. What's going on? I don't understand. They're like, oh, what's that sound? It sounds like Street Fighter. Yeah.
That's very cool. And if people want to learn more, I know you guys are on Kickstarter. You're on all the socials. Where can people learn more?
Yeah, so NewWaveToys.com is really the place to go and check us out. Everything is there, all the information, all the cabinets that we've done so far. There's hints at stuff that's coming new. We usually have silhouettes of the cabinets that are coming. people like to guess, oh, what is that? I think I know what that is, and they go back and forth on social. So that's fun. But newwavetoys.com is definitely the spot for all the info.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys need these.
Any retro gamer worth their salt knows one of the holy grails out there is the Nintendo World Championship cartridge. And I'm never gonna own one. I just don't have the money to drop on either a gray or a gold cart. However, the folks over at Retro USB for a number of years have offered reproductions of that NWC cart. It's a great value and it's exactly as it was back in the day. Basically, if you're not familiar with the NWC cart, you basically play Super Mario Brothers, the very first game, and you try to collect 50 coins as quickly as possible. From there, you move on to Rad Racer and you have to try to complete the first level as quickly as possible again. And then finally, with the time remaining, you have a total of 6 minutes and 21 seconds, you get to play Tetris. Now in each game, you have a different score multiplier, so you want to get to Tetris as quickly as possible, so that way you can build your score. Now I was able to get a fantastic deal on this copy of the NWC. Normally they go for well over $100. For a repro, I got it for under 50. It's a great deal. Things are starting off great.
So now we're here with one of our favorite people, Richard from Retrobit. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great. How are you doing, Gary?
I am doing awesome, and we have got some cool things to talk with Richard about that maybe has been teased and previewed throughout the year, and now we're getting closer and we've even got some new stuff to talk about. So let's talk first about one of the things that'll probably be hitting first or soonest, and that's Metal Storm, because I cannot wait for Metal Storm.
We're just as excited as you are and everyone else, so we're shooting for, pre-orders are now available at CastlemaniaGames.com, and the launch date and release date will be around the end of November, possibly creeping into the first week of December as well.
Well, and that's one of those things too where I, just like the R-Type Returns and Holy Diver, pre-order these things. They're going to go fast, and when they're gone, it's not saying that it's a limited run, but it's a limited run, and when they're gone, they're gone.
Once they're gone, so definitely get your pre-orders in now and enjoy it like the rest of us.
Now, next up I want to talk about, because I've actually seen these, I have one of each to test out, make sure you guys stay subscribed to see this, is the wireless controllers coming out, the 6-button Genesis and the Saturn controllers. What can you tell people about those guys?
Yes, both of those will be coming out next month in November, and you can pre-order both of them on CastlemaniaGames.com. The 8-button Genesis controller will be available in Bluetooth in the clear blue color, as well as the black color, the traditional black Genesis. And then for Saturn, it'll be available in slate gray and black as well.
Now, in addition to those wireless ones, you guys have got another set of wireless controllers you're debuting here, or at least we have here at the show, where it has both a Genesis, or tell me about it, because it's 2-in-1 kind of hookup. So what are they? Tell me more about them.
Yeah, they're going to be the 2.4 gigahertz edition of our Sega Genesis and our Saturn controllers, and they're going to be coming in a really cool collective storage case, and they'll be coming with 2 separate dongles. One will be for the original port for the console that you will be pre-ordering, whether it's Genesis or Saturn, and the other one will be for USB, so that you play it on your PC, Mac, and Switch as well.
So it's almost like you take the older dual port style controllers that you guys had, it's now wireless.
Not wireless at all, so cut the wires and go ahead and play wherever you want in the living room.
Now, you also have this guy here that I'm excited about.
Yes.
I won't drop it this year like I almost dropped the Tribute last year. Let's show you guys what I'm talking about. Very cool.
Just let us know. Whoa!
It didn't hit the floor.
We're safe.
We're going to keep that in, and yeah, I'm going to have to get my checkbook out anyways, aren't I? Yeah, we both needed a change of underwear after that one. But this is the wireless Tribute 64. Tell me about this, because I want one.
And you can't drop that one because we don't have a wire to grab, and it'll just drop on the floor. But
oh, I can drop it, I just can't catch it.
So this is our prototype that we've been debuting, and it is for the Tribute 64 2.4 gigahertz. As you can see, that we've made some cosmetic changes. We've readjusted the D-pad, as well as added the trigger buttons to be a little bit lower. But the cool thing about it is that it comes with this dongle that will be featuring memory card support as well as Rumble.
Oh, that's awesome. So wait, Rumble in the controller?
Yes, definitely. Rumble in the controller. We're right now still trying to figure that out and see exactly how to get that really fluid and really flush, but it's something that we're striving for.
I gotta assume this is gonna be a ways out, 2020 at least.
We're gonna try and shoot for this next upcoming year, but definitely stay tuned, and we'll keep you posted and updated.
And in addition, you guys have some kind of SLA rapid prototype stuff here.
Yes.
The Nes Max, one of my people either love this controller or hate this controller. I love this controller. This is my way. I played so much RC Pro-Am with this. We've got this guy here for the Dreamcast. You guys are working on a whole lot of really cool stuff.
So these are our prototypes that we're showcasing at Portland Retro Gaming Expo that will be coming up within the next year of 2020, and they are our take and our remake and re-engineering of the original 3-button Genesis controller. But as you can see on the black version, we have 6 buttons there, and they're a little bit bigger than the original form factor. And then on the white version, we have 3 buttons here on the face, but then we also added shoulder buttons with the start and select on the bottom. One of the next titles that we'll be releasing in the very near future will be Zero Wing for Retrobit Publishing.
Where, if they want to learn more, obviously stay subscribed to the channel, but if they want to learn more about Retrobit, where can they follow you guys, and where can they learn more about what's going on and what's coming out?
Yeah, you can visit us at retrobit.com and all of our social platforms at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Retrobit Gaming. And also please subscribe to our email list, because we always send out whether it's deals or reveals or updates on our product launches. But also make sure that you follow Gary and Rock Solid, because he's definitely be up to speed with everything that we have on our plate, and he does nothing but a great job.
Awesome, Richard. Thank you again. I'm gonna just kind of take this. Kris, you're not watching this, are you? We're gonna just.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, sir. No publicity, sir.
One of the first Famicom games I ever bought was a game called YY World 2, and I gotta thank my friend John Riggs. He did a Hidden Gems video with Metal Jesus Rocks talking about great games for the Famicom that you can play and import that don't require any English translations. Well, I found a booth that had a copy of the original YY World, and I've heard it's not quite as good, but I've heard it's also really good too. It's still a fun game. And for $10, I couldn't pass it up. But while I was there, they also had this awesome Super Mario World cartridge protector. It was kind of clear plastic, that smoky kind of plastic that had the Super Famicom logo and everything on it, along with Mario and Yoshi. I was able to combo both of them and go ahead and make a great deal. And these are coming back with me. So cool. I don't know why I've been collecting Famicom lately, but that's like the one system I'm just super geeked to collect for again, is the Famicom.
Do this in 4K.
This cat already ugly. Until he gets kicks out, he's never allowed in here again.
Here at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, now we're here with Jesse from mCable. My friend, it is good to see you again. We saw each other originally back at the Mo Game Con, where Mr. Maynard won and did not win.
Yeah, I supposedly won an mCable, and I didn't go. Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Sorry, Zach, we had to. So we're here, we're talking about the mClassic, and I gotta tell you, I just had, if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check out my video I just posted on the mCable. For those unfamiliar with Marseille, tell us about what are you guys doing to make the retro gaming experience and modern gaming experience better?
Older consoles, if you were to just plug it into a regular TV, the built-in processing really isn't that great. You get a bloated picture, it's blurry, it's not that fun. So what we're here to do is show you how to get to 480p, and then our mClassic will then take that signal and make it way better. We want to show you what was the best picture you could see before us, and then we can then push it even farther.
So for those curious, because like I mentioned, I just reviewed the mCable, love it, it's great. What is the difference between the mCable and now this new mClassic?
mClassic was really we added extra buttons or switches to it to allow you to be able to switch between a full process, the 4:3 aspect ratio, which is the retro mode, and then we also have an off button to allow you to actually pass the signal through, so you don't have to disconnect it from your setup.
Is there a use case where you would recommend one over the other, either going with the M cable or the mClassic, or is pretty much the mClassic the next step in the way that people should be looking moving forward?
So mClassic is a lot has a lot more to it than the M cable. We've updated the algorithms for the color and the field of depth. And we also were able to now push it up to a higher resolution. M cable maxes out at 1080p. We are now able to push to 1440p as long as your monitor could support it. So a gaming monitor at 1440p, no problem. Most TVs only support 1080p. There's probably about 10 that actually support 1440, and we've got one here. So yeah, it's future-proof in case you want to go to the highest resolution you want, or you can.
Now, and the good news is these were available for pre-order. We're getting to the point, they're coming soon. They're going to be here before Thanksgiving, from what I understand.
So we had a amazing Indiegogo campaign. We blew it out of the water. We were able to bring a box here at Portland Retro, and we were able to just sell them all out within the first day. So now we're doing pre-orders so that we could ship it to you, and we're looking to do retail probably about the end of November. So whoever purchased one today, we're lucky to get one before it actually went retail.
So it's one of those things, if this is something you're interested in, pre-order it now, because otherwise, I mean, they're not going away, but the wait may be longer. You may not get in on the first order. Now, if people are looking for more information on the M Cable Classic, or on the M Cable and on the mClassic, where can they go to find more information?
You can go to the Marseille website, marseilleinc.com, and then also you can check out all of our social medias. We're constantly posting pictures on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. So if you want to message us through those avenues, you can. We'll answer any questions that you have.
Perfect. And Jesse, thank you so much. This is a great way to go ahead and hook up your retro and modern consoles. I mean, that's the greatest thing is everything from an HDMI modded NES to a PS4, PS5 coming soon, an Xbox One X, Project whatever they are calling their next one. It's going to work with it, and your games will never look better.
That's right.
Jesse, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so we're back again with Richard from Retrobit, and this is something that they're doing that is near and dear to my heart. I've talked in the past through live streams and other things. I lost my mom to cancer in 1995. My middle brother is currently going through cancer right now. And Richard, these are some very special controllers for the Genesis and for the Saturn. Just tell us about them, because it's weird. I'm getting chills right now talking about them just because of what it means to my family.
Definitely, and thank you very much for sharing your story and how cancer has affected you. And that's kind of what we are trying to strive for when it comes to making these controllers. Sega, Retrobit, Limited Run Games, and Game Pink have all collaborated to team up to generate awareness and fight against breast cancer. And what we did was we created a series of 4 officially licensed Sega controllers, limited edition in this really nice pink variant. And 10% of all the proceeds will be donated to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And the cool thing about it is that we've really just have an overwhelming response, and really great to see the gaming community come together and just help spread awareness and find a cure some way, somehow.
Yeah, and like I say, I mean, it's something it's affected my family tremendously. The thing that I like about this is you've got the Cancer Society symbol and everything on here. The details, it's not just a pink case.
Nope.
It's a pink circuit board, pink membranes. I mean, you guys
you think pink.
We definitely do, and that's what we wanted to just really make it special. But the most important thing is just the cause behind it. And the pre-orders went live on Friday, October 18th, and they'll run throughout the rest of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So definitely thank you for your support and everything that you're doing, and thank you for everyone that has contributed, shared, retweet, and just spread the word about the cause.
Now, this is available exclusively through Limited Run Games. I'll have a link down below where you guys can check that out, and I highly recommend. These are pretty much just going to be pre-order, and when the pre-orders are gone, they're gone, right?
Yeah, once they're done, once all the pre-order window closes, then we're just going to go into production, and they'll be shipping out around probably the end of November, early December.
Okay, and it's one of those things, I don't care how cheap you are, if you have a Genesis, if you have a Saturn, you need to pick one of these up. It's a tax deduction, it's a charitable donation. Think about that. When was the last gaming thing you bought that you could say it's a tax write-off? You can write these guys off. It's a beautiful thing. Richard, again, from me and my family to you and Retrobit and Limited Run Games and everyone involved in this, thank you so much for everything you guys doing to help, again, like you mentioned, find a cure for cancer.
Definitely, thank you for all your help and support, and just sharing your story just as well as everyone else has on the message boards and comments, and it's really touching just to see everyone come together and have the strength and courage just to speak up and also take part in the cause.
Perfect. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
All right, we are here now with Ryan from CastlemaniaGames.com. Dude, I'm surprised that you still have a voice, that you're still upright.
It's been a long weekend, yep. End of day 2 right now, so we're just wrapping up.
So let's talk about some cool things coming to the castle, because one of the coolest things, just from a service and feature-wise, I know you guys have heard me talk about it, is Castle Cash, and it's something within like the last 2 or 3 months that you've added. Tell folks because it's to give back to the consumer.
Right. I mean, people have choices. They can go anywhere. We really value and respect people that come to shop with us, and we wanted to give them a reason to keep coming back and show that we appreciate them, essentially.
Now, and again, thanks to Ryan for doing the Rock Solid 10 promo code for everybody. The one thing different, though, about Castle Cash is the fact that that Rock Solid 10 promo works on most things, but not everything. Castle Cash works site-wide.
Yeah, it's site-wide. It's what good is Castle Cash if it's not good in the castle? So, so it's site-wide. You can get it discounted on anything.
So, talking about things that I would like to get a discount on, we'll have to talk about this later. I mean,
Sure.
I've got a Virtual Boy.
Yes.
You have Virtual Boy set up here. What's going on with the Virtual Boy?
So that was kind of the star of the show over there. A lot of people really interested, and curiosity to see a Virtual Boy playing on a modern display, where you don't have to stare into the lenses. So Furtech created a product called the Virtual Tap. It's an open source product that we have gone into production with, where you can hard mod your Virtual Boy to give you a video out option, as well as a palette selection switch, so you can change it from red to the different colors like yellow, purple. My personal favorite is white. So it's a black and white display. A lot easier on the eyes and a lot easier to sit there and play when you're looking at a TV how you're used to playing. So.
But now it is a hardware mod, so you do have to have some mechanical skill to open up your system to be able to install it?
This is a expert level, I would say, mod. So if your skills are not expert level, contact one of the modders on the product page and ask them about their availability to mod it.
And those are coming?
Late November.
Okay. And those are available for pre-order now too?
They're available for pre-order now. I think we're nearing the end of that. And then we will keep it in production. Just if you want to get it sooner than later without any gaps in production, pre-order would be the way to do it. Yep.
Now, talking about pre-orders, another big pre-order that's coming, and we talked to Richard from Retrobit earlier about this, Metal Storm.
Yeah, Metal Storm, very exciting. The follow-up to last year's Holy Diver and R-Type releases is now Metal Storm. We've got called Galactic Blue. It's the same as the limited edition R-Type from last year, that blue. Very striking, very cool color. So we are wrapping up pre-orders on that as well, and that's also expected to deliver late November.
Okay. Now, you talked about R-Type last year. You talked about, or you didn't bring it up, but there was also Holy Diver last year. You actually still have a few copies. So if you want copies of Holy Diver and R-Type, I'd say move sooner than later.
Yeah, those have been sold out for months, and we were able to secure a few extra boxes that Retrobit had left in their warehouse. So we called Final Call, and this was a small miracle to grab these. So if you want a Holy Diver or an R-Type, we've been out of them. We've been telling people I can't get them for some time. So we have them. We brought them to Portland. I think we have a box left of the R-Type and a couple boxes of the Holy Diver. So, yeah.
Now, I want to wrap things up because I want to talk to you. You hit on a little bit with the mod for the Virtual Boy, but connecting systems to your TV. There's a lot of exciting stuff in the castle, coming to the castle. You've got the RetroTink, you've got HD Retrovision cables, you've got Insurrection Industry stuff. You want to just kind of talk a little bit about the different ways to connect your systems that are in the castle and coming to the castle?
Yes, definitely. So HD Retrovision is an excellent option. It's component video cable solution for all of your classic consoles, from Genesis to Neo Geo, Saturn, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, the Wii, and then the Dreamcast we have coming. So the Dreamcast we've also had on display here, and a lot of people have been very patiently waiting for that to come out. So look for that early next year. That is a great option for a lot of people. The other option is if you want to go down the SCART direction. SCART cables from Insurrection are a very high quality cable. Currently they have the Genesis, Saturn, Super Nintendo, and they have PlayStation 1 and 2 as well. They're expanding their offering. They talked to me a little bit about the show. I can't remember all of them, but they're releasing like 8 more SKUs, something like that. Including we're possibly, it sounds like, going to go to market with the 8-pin mini DIN, which is how we have the Virtual Boy hooked up. And where that's important is a lot of these mods have options, and it seems like the modding community is kind of centering in on let's just go with the 8-pin mini DIN. So for there to be a SCART option for that, it's a great option.
And then finally, too, I know a lot of people, I love mine, the RetroTinks. They've been out of stock for a while, but they're getting ready to come back.
In and out. They're always in and out. We do our best to kind of like stabilize that stock, but just like the Virtual Tap, they sell out, and we have more coming, but there are gaps, and we do our best to make those as short as possible. But yeah, we've got those coming in. We should have those in the next week or so.
Okay. And then if you want to stay up to date on Castlemania Game stuff, we've been telling people all weekend, sign up for the email newsletter, the Notify Me on the product pages. Where else can they find you online?
So the newsletter is important, and we try to keep that to just once a month and just the important stuff. It is something people should be, we don't want to waste anyone's time. So it's not spam or anything like that. It's just important information so that you don't wind up missing out on things. Like we announced that the Super Nintendo HD Retrovision cables were going to be out of stock for a protracted period. And we are on we shouted that from the hilltops, but as you know, all weekend long, people were looking for them, and that's how you would know. So we do that, and then always on Twitter, that's where I'm the most active, at Castlemania Ryan, and then at Castlemania Games on Instagram and Facebook are also options.
Awesome. Ryan, thank you so much for spending time with us this weekend, for hanging out, for letting me invade your booth, for letting me just take your kid and just warp his brain a little bit this weekend. And thank you for being such a great part of Rock Solid Productions.
Thank you. We couldn't do this without you guys, without the customers, and without the supporters from the creator community like yourself. Thank you. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
I had walked around the hall and walked around the hall, and I was losing faith that I was actually going to find a copy of Proteus. Yet again, I figured I was going to get skunked. And then I got a phone call from my friend Ryan at Castlemania Games. It seems Patreon came through. Trip, one of my Patreon supporters, lives out here and comes to the show every year. He texted Ryan and let him know, Ryan, I found a booth and they have a copy of Proteus for Gary. They don't just have one, they had two. He grabbed me, we ran down there, we ran to the booth and we found them, and they looked, one was better looking than the other. They were the same price, they were $20. Didn't even haggle. As much as I've been looking for this game, plopped down my 20 bucks, and I now have a copy of Proteus in my collection. So happy, so thrilled for that. Thanks, Trip, thanks, Ryan, for looking out for me. Gotta love this community. You guys are awesome. Well, that was fun. Wow, what an exhausting day, what an exhausting weekend, but in the best way possible. I had so much fun hanging out with the guys from Retrobit, with Castlemania Ryan, hanging out with my brother. It was just a fun overall weekend to be here, and I got some of the best pickups that I've been looking for a long time. I already talked about how I got my copy of Proteus for the Famicom. Thank you again, Trip. You are the man. I also picked up a copy of YY World for the Famicom. I was just kind of on a Famicom kick this trip, which is, it's kind of fun. I enjoy doing that. Above and beyond that, you know, the Nintendo World Championship cart that I picked up, you know, 40 bucks is a steal. The little Super Famicom clear smoke cartridge protector for Super Mario World, another great thing that I'm thrilled that I got my hands on. I did have a couple final pickups here towards the end of the show. Normally I do my recap talking about doing happy hour here. We were helping everybody over at the Retrobit and Castlemania booths, so I didn't do a whole lot of that, but I did pick up a couple final things. So last night we went out to dinner with a couple of guys, and one of the guys, Jeremy, had told me that a customer had traded in a copy of Final Fight CD, and yesterday I had actually found a copy of Final Fight Guy for the Super Famicom. $30, I almost did it. I'm glad I didn't, because I was able to pick up Final Fight CD for my Sega CD, and this is just a great version of that game. Absolutely love it. Cannot wait to get home and play it. Now it's the disc only, but you know what? It's a good start, and I got a great price. He gave me an amazing deal, and the cool thing about that for him, he didn't have to do anything besides take the trade in, so it's kind of nice to be able to help someone out like that. I had also talked to Jesse from Marseille with the M cable and everything in the mClassic, and one of the games that he was telling me about is, dude, have you played Shantae yet? I haven't played any Shantae titles. Well, I did go and I checked out one booth and they had a copy of Shantae for the Switch for like 75 bucks just for the game. I'm like, I'm good. Then I walked over to the limited run booth and they had Shantae and the Pirate's Curse for $35. I couldn't pass it up. Above and beyond everything else, just had not just the pickups, but the memories again created. Being able to help everybody out here at the show, hanging with my brother and doing YouTube stuff with them, playing retro video games with him was just so much fun. If you guys have any comments or questions about the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, as always, leave them down below in the comments section. Now next year they are changing the date, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. It's going to be in August, and I think it's the 14th through 16th. August is a busy month for me. I'm going to the Missouri Game Con. I'm going to Southeast Game Exchange. Being able to fit this one in, that might be a bit tough. We're going to try it though. If you do have any comments or questions, as always, feel free to email me, rocksolidmail@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter at RockSolidStudios, Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, and also on Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. Now, we've talked about Castlemania Games quite a bit on this video for good reason. I mean, Ryan's he is the absolute best. Make sure you head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com for all your modern and retro gaming needs. Don't forget about Castle Cash, where basically the more more you spend, the more you save. And if you use promo code RockSolid10, you can save 10% off of most everything on the website too. Now, if you do want to help support the future of Rock Solid Productions, you can do so in a couple of different ways. You can head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you can get early access to all of our video content, exclusive one-on-ones from me, and shout-outs here on the channel. You can also head on over to our Teespring store where you can pick up some t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and the likes, so that you can go ahead and rock some Rock Solid Productions swag. And then finally, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you like what you see here, if you want to see more, I invite you, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. That way each and every time we upload a new video, you are kept the most up to date. Portland, you guys outdid yourself. I loved the show last year. This year was even more fun. The only thing missing, my boys from the Pixel Game Squad. Riff and Gabo, I wish you guys would have been here. We had so much fun last year. You got to come out here next year. I am Gary. This has been Rock Solid Productions and our coverage of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2019. Sign behind me is telling me which way I've got to go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.